Good morning to Rohit Chopra from the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Laverne.
So there's so much going on in the world right now, but what I wanted to ask you first, I live in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I'm a huge fan of Elizabeth Warren. I know she was key and instrumental in creating this agency. So if you could just give some background as to what the agency is and why it was created.
Well, after the subprime mortgage meltdown, which devastated the economy, people realized we need some actual law enforcement against companies and big banks that take advantage of consumers. And over the years, the agency collected over $21 billion for student loan borrowers against companies like Navient, for account holders who worked with Wells Fargo, and so much more. But recently, we've seen efforts to completely obliterate the agency.
Yeah, I know in the past few weeks, I've read articles and seen news clips about the Trump administration trying to gut and cut from the agency. How has that affected you all thus far?
Well, I was fired on February 1st,
Oh, wow.
and they installed a set of people that seem intent on really defunding all of the police that look after these Wall Street companies, these student loan firms, and more. So the net result is just going to be less eyes on our streets when it comes to financial crime.
Wow. So this has affected you personally. They fired you. How are
Yeah,
you doing?
and they're looking to fire many others. We are seeing every day how people are struggling with credit cards, with student loans. There's real issues in the economy right now, and I'm really worried that with no cops on the beat, there's just going to be a lot of exploitation.
I'm glad you brought up student loans. We found out yesterday from the Department of Education that on May 5th, they're going after borrowers that are in default. And I know that these borrowers, over 5 million people, were protected since the pandemic, since 2020, and especially under the Biden-Harris administration. People have been protected and those payments are put on pause. So now what does that mean for people in default? What does that mean for borrowers in forbearance or people that don't have protection? What's going to happen to us?
It's a big question. Those 5 million people in default are soon going to face potentially something called garnishment. This is when your Social Security payment or your wages are taken from you. What's crazy is that a lot of the people who have defaulted on their student loans, some of them are senior citizens, a big portion. Many have actually been paying for years and years, and some were actually the victims of companies that failed to enroll them in the right payment plan. So I think that this is going to be real trouble for a lot of borrowers unless the Department of Education actually has a plan to help people get on their feet. This could be real financial ruin for a lot of people.
I agree. My mom is 83, went back to school at 50, still paying on her loans, and she's scared. What can people do to fight back? What can people do to plan now and prepare for what might be coming down the road?
I don't have great answers other than it's really important to know what you owe. We want people to log in to any accounts they have, including on the Department of Ed's website, to at least get a picture for what type of loans that they actually have. We also want to make sure people are steering clear of scammers. And with the CFPB basically on the bench, it is a green light for student debt scammers to target people who have these loans. So be very wary of who is calling you and make sure that you are not paying for something that you already made a payment on.
Exactly. I've been encouraging my students, my families, and my subscribers to write to their politicians, write to their attorney general, try to see how much they owe, write to their lenders, and write to their creditors. Do you think any of that might be able to help?
It will. I think it's really overwhelming, though, for so many people with student loans. Many of them actually have loans that their college or their bank doesn't even have the right documentation for. Some of these loans are so old that it may actually be hard to figure out the histories on them. So I do hope that people continue to speak up and speak out, because we do not want a chaotic system to make things worse for the economy and for individuals.
I agree. I agree. One last thing, Rohit. What can people do, not even with student loans, but just in general? What can people do to try and protect themselves, protect their families, and just protect future generations? I know there's lots of kids in school right now taking out loans. They're taking out credit cards. There's a lot of scammers and fraudsters all around. So one last thing that you can tell people that they can do right now to try and protect themselves.
Well, one small thing is I really like when everyone checks their credit report. Go to annualcreditreport.com or go to the CFPB's website. Look at your credit report every year. For too many people, they have had their identities stolen, or there is incorrect information that is harming their credit score and harming their financial future. So that is one thing that everyone should do.
Awesome. So thank you so much again, Rohit Chopra from the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau. And thank you so much. I wish you well. And everyone, I hope you listen to what he had to say, and have a great Tuesday.
Thanks, Laverne.
Stop. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank